Out of nowhere, what seemed impossible may be about to happen. A series of unexpected leaks may have revealed Tesla's biggest secret in recent years, the mysterious Project Redwood. If all of this is indeed real, and there are many indications, the world could soon witness the birth of the long-awaited Tesla Model 2, a car that promises to completely disrupt the rules of the game. It all started with an almost unnoticed detail, a patent registration published discreetly in October 2024. But this small document brought with it a thread that, when pulled, began to unravel a plot much larger than anyone could have imagined. The clues began to spread like wildfire. The community of enthusiasts and analysts delved into the public records, and soon the forums were buzzing with discussions about the so-called Redwood. And then came the first big shock. Satellite images, captured by independent companies, showed strange movements in specific areas of the Gigafactory, Texas. The structures built there matched exactly the leaked industrial plants, supposedly destined for the production of a new compact car. Coincidence? It seemed unlikely, especially when other details began to emerge. Several camouflaged test vehicles were spotted around the factory. At first glance, they could have been just another variation of the Model 3, but there was something different. The rear end featured LED taillights with a completely new light signature, never before used by any Tesla. In addition, the charging connector was positioned on the left, exactly like on the Cybertruck, contrary to the standardization of all the brand's other models. All of this caught people's attention because these details matched the specifications described in the leaked documents to the millimeter. And it didn't stop there. The prototype tires caught the attention of those in the know. Models Continental Eco Contact, which have never been used in any Tesla to date. Interestingly, this same type of tire appears cited in the technical reports attributed to Project Redwood as the ones chosen for road tests on European soil. This raised even more alarms and reinforced the idea that this was more than just a test. It was a new generation in the making, perhaps the boldest that Elon Musk has ever proposed. Other documents began to leak in quick succession. From October to December 2024, no less than 23 patent applications were filed with technical descriptions that perfectly matched the components observed in the prototypes. And as if that weren't convincing enough, there was a slip-up that practically sealed the suspicion. Some newly installed supercharging stations were internally marked as Model 2 compatible. At this point, hiding anything seemed pointless. While all eyes were on the leaks from Earth, the cherry on top arrived, straight from space. Ultra-high-resolution satellite imagery revealed new facilities at the Gigafactory that matched the layouts depicted in the leaked schematics point for point. These included, for example, areas dedicated to manufacturing pre-painted plastic parts, a method that promises to reduce production costs by up to 40%. A bold move, especially for a car aimed at the entry-level segment where every penny counts. If all these clues are indeed legitimate, then what comes next will be even more unbelievable. According to the leaked documents, Tesla is developing a completely new approach to reduce the production cost of the Model 2 to a level never before achieved by the automotive industry. Just $7,500 per unit. Just reading that number is enough to make your head spin. After all, we're talking about an electric car with all of Tesla's cutting-edge technology, and it doesn't even officially exist yet. It's hard not to be curious about what goes on behind the scenes. The magic behind this price tag would be the so-called mega casting, a technology that Elon Musk has been promoting for years, but which would now reach a new level. Instead of hundreds of parts being assembled separately, the Model 2's chassis would be cast in giant blocks, drastically reducing the number of components and the complexity of assembly. This would eliminate entire production steps and significantly reduce the time needed to assemble each car. And time, in this industry, is synonymous with money. Furthermore, almost the entire assembly line would be automated, The data indicates that 97% of production would be done by robots, with only 12 points of human contact from start to finish. This is absolutely insane. While traditional manufacturing still relies on hundreds of workers per shift, Tesla seems poised to show that it is possible to produce at scale with near-robotic efficiency. Literally, you can almost imagine a factory operating in the dark, silently, with mechanical arms working non-stop. Another point that draws attention is the use of extremely simplified electronic components. The idea would be to replace thousands of small systems with integrated and reprogrammable modules, something similar to what already happens in the most modern cell phones. This not only reduces the cost of materials, but also the cost of future maintenance. And if there's one thing Tesla loves to do, it's using software as a competitive advantage. Don't be surprised if part of the Model 2's assembly can be updated via Wi-Fi one day. Even the tooling process, which is typically one of the largest fixed costs for automakers, would be rethought. Instead of expensive one-off molds, Tesla would use reprogrammable molds that could be adapted for different models. The average tooling cost per car would drop to about $600, a fraction of what competitors typically spend. And the most incredible thing, all of this would be controlled by software, something that Elon Musk has always said would be the future of the industry. In the end, the leaked calculations show that with this approach, Tesla could build each Model 2 for exactly $7,500 and still sell it for $25,000, while maintaining a 233% profit margin. That's not just good business. It's a direct attack on the business model of traditional automakers. As they struggle to cut costs without sacrificing quality, Tesla may be on the verge of completely redefining what affordable car means. With all these costs cut and profit margins preserved, what Tesla is preparing is more than just a new car. It's a new way of building cars. And to make this work at scale, it would need an industrial infrastructure that matches its boldness. That's where the plan for distributed production between Giga Texas, Giga Shanghai, and the long-awaited Giga Mexico comes in. Factories that, together, could produce millions of units per year. It sounds crazy, but this puzzle is assembled with very well-positioned pieces, and every move seems to have been planned years in advance. What is most striking is how Tesla manages to keep almost everything in-house. Unlike traditional automakers that rely on a network of suppliers spread across the globe, Elon Musk has been increasingly centralizing production under one roof. According to the documents, 80% of the Model 2's components would be manufactured within Giga Texas itself, while 95% of Giga Shanghai's inputs would be locally sourced. This not only reduces costs, but also protects production from global logistical crises, something that brought down giants during the pandemic. With this structure, Tesla would have an initial capacity to produce 375,000 units per year in Texas alone, and plans to expand to an impressive 2 million units per year in Mexico. This scale is simply unmatched among its competitors. To give you an idea, GM's Orion plant, which produces the Chevrolet Bolt, reaches a maximum of 150,000 units per year. It's like putting a pedal boat to compete with a war freighter. And the detail is that, while others are still trying to reconfigure factories, Tesla would already have the line ready. But what really shakes up the industry is the speed of the production process. With the so-called unboxed manufacturing system, Tesla would be operating with 5-second assembly cycles, which represents a 30% reduction in the total cost per unit. This means that, as you read this paragraph, a new Model 2 could be rolling off the production line. It's the kind of efficiency you only see in smartphone factories, never in car factories. In addition to scale and speed, there is the exclusivity factor. Tesla has reportedly placed orders for batteries from suppliers such as KATL, LG Energy, and Panasonic for a total value of $847 million, with deliveries aligned with the Model 2 production schedule. These contracts practically seal the commitment to launch the model, even though nothing has been officially confirmed. After all, no one invests almost $1 billion in batteries to leave them in stock waiting to gather dust. Everything indicates that there is a schedule in place and that the world will see this car on the road very soon. And the numbers speak volumes. With this model, Tesla could put 500,000 units on the streets as early as 2026, reclaiming its dominance in the US, which fell from 65% to 50% between 2023 and 2024. With the Model 2, this market share could return to its previous level, suffocating brands like Hyundai and BYD, which have been gaining ground. And in the European market, where Tesla lost momentum with a 37.2% drop in sales in 2025, large-scale production at Giga, Mexico, would allow it to invade the old continent with a cheaper and better product than its local competitors. And just when it all starts to seem too big to be true, another layer appears that makes everything even crazier. The Model 2 could actually be the nerve center of an entire Tesla technology ecosystem. According to the leaks, this vehicle would not be just another affordable electric car. It would function as a direct bridge to devices like the long-awaited Tesla Pi tablet, a project that has not yet been officially confirmed, but which has frequently appeared in patent filings and internal rumors. And then things change, because the conversation is no longer just about mobility. What caught the eye in the documents is that several of the patents related to Project Redwood mention vehicle-device integration protocols, with direct communication between the car and external smart systems, exactly the kind of connectivity that would be needed to use the Tesla Pi as a command center on wheels. Imagine starting the car, setting routes, temperature, music, all from the tablet that is already synchronized with the vehicle, or even using voice commands integrated into the smart home. It is as if the Model 2 is being shaped to live within a digital ecosystem that has not yet arrived, but already has a name. One technical detail that raised many eyebrows was the repositioned charging port system, moving from the traditional Tesla right side to the left side, like the Cybertruck. This may seem like a cosmetic feature, but it actually indicates a new energy and connectivity architecture that would fit perfectly with the idea of a car that not only consumes energy, but shares it with other devices. It would be like turning the Model 2 into a mobile generator, fully integrated into Tesla's ecosystem of home batteries and solar panels. Another interesting point is the lighting systems. The prototypes that were spotted feature new horizontal rear LEDs, completely different from Tesla's current standard. In addition to being visually striking, these headlights appear to have intelligent functions, such as changing the light pattern according to the type of driving or interaction with pedestrians. This may sound like a whim, but it aligns with the concept of a car that communicates with its surroundings, something that is fundamental for applications such as FSD and robo-taxis, two hidden cards that the Model 2 is said to have under the hood. Yes, it will also come with full self-driving, FSD, already installed from the factory, and that's a game changer. Instead of charging a premium for this feature like in previous models, Tesla can finally offer FSD as standard, turning the Model 2 into a native autonomous driving platform. This is more than a luxury. It's the first step toward using the car as a service, whether with the owner releasing the vehicle to operate as a robo-taxis or with shared urban systems. This is where the bigger plan starts to become clear. If all of this hasn't already turned your head, just wait until you consider the social and environmental impact this car could have. Because the Model 2 wouldn't just be an industrial or technological revolution. It would have the power to put a Tesla in the garages of millions of people who, until now, had never even dreamed of such a thing. With an estimated final price of $10,159 after tax incentives in the US, this model could be on the radar of more than 80% of American families, something that was unthinkable just a few years ago. And we're not talking about a bare-bones, boring car that looks like a walking appliance. This is a real Tesla, with all the value that the brand carries. Imagine the impact this would have on small towns, where people still rely on combustion-powered cars due to a lack of affordable electric options, or on middle-class neighborhoods that never imagined being able to charge their cars at home like a cell phone. If this model is made accessible, it will completely change the urban landscape, from the design of parking lots to energy consumption in homes. It's as if the future we only saw in advertisements suddenly started to appear on the streets right next door. And speaking of impact, there is the financial side that, for many families, will be a game changer. In fuel and maintenance savings alone, it is estimated that the owner of a Model 2 could save around $7,000 per year. In 10 years, that is $70,000 back in their pocket. That is without counting the amount saved on taxes on gasoline, oil changes, brake pads, and so on. And the best part, without giving up comfort, technology, or safety. Tesla promises to deliver all of this in a compact and intelligent car. Now, imagine the effect this will have on people living in areas far from major cities, where public transportation is scarce and combustion-powered cars dominate. The Model 2 could be the first new car in many people's lives. Not a patched-up used car, but a Tesla, with a warranty, connectivity, and real assistance. And this could transform people's relationship with mobility. A young person who has just gotten their license, a retiree, a teacher, or a farm worker, all of them could be about to experience something that previously seemed exclusive to the rich and famous. And there's also the environmental issue. According to studies associated with the project, if 500,000 Model 2s replace combustion-powered vehicles, the U.S. could avoid emitting 10 million tons of CO2 per year. That's the equivalent of what a forest with 200 million trees would take decades to offset. And here, it's not just about cars, it's about the planet, public health, air quality in cities, and even global climate policies. And that's where the most ambitious point of this whole story comes in. The beginning of the third phase of Tesla's master plan. For those who have followed the brand since the days of the first Roadsters, you know that Elon Musk always talked about this with a twinkle in his eye. But now, everything indicates that the final phase will finally come to fruition. The strategy was clear from the beginning. Launch expensive cars to generate cash, then mid-range models to gain scale, and finally, the Masterstroke, a popular revolutionary car capable of reaching the masses. The Model 2 would be the materialization of this promise made back then, back when Tesla was still treated as an eccentric idea from Silicon Valley. So far, Tesla has already accomplished the first two stages with flying colors. Model S and Model X established the brand as a benchmark for luxury and innovation. Model 3 and Model Y consolidated sales volume and industrial maturity. But now, with the Model 2, Tesla would be targeting the 89% of the world's population that still cannot afford to buy a Tesla. This is a huge segment of the market that traditional automakers have been trying to conquer for decades, always coming up against costs, infrastructure, or technology. And this is precisely where Tesla plans to run roughshod over everyone. Because what sets this third phase apart is not just the lower price. It is the access model it proposes. The Model 2 would not just be a car to be bought. It could be rented, shared, connected to the robo-taxis network, and even operated remotely in the future. Elon Musk has said on more than one occasion that the future of mobility is not about owning a car, but about using it as a smart service. And the Model 2 is the perfect body for this digital soul. The ability to integrate FSD from the start already prepares the car for this future. While other automakers are still struggling to implement limited autonomous driving systems, Tesla will be able to put hundreds of thousands of vehicles on the streets, ready to act as robots on wheels, drastically reducing the need for private cars in cities. This will affect public transportation, mobility apps, delivery logistics, and even the number of cars on the streets. It is more than a category change. It is a paradigm shift. And even for those who want the car in traditional mode, the experience will be different. Tesla will be able to let the Model 2 work for the owner while he or she is at home or at the office. The car will go out to transport other people autonomously and generate passive income while you don't even have to be driving. It's the kind of concept that seems like something out of a science fiction episode, but it seems that it is closer to becoming a reality than many imagine. With the arrival of the Model 2, a new era would dawn not only in the automotive sector, but in the daily lives of millions of people. It is curious to think that, for decades, the car was synonymous with status, with purchasing power, almost a symbol of those who had made it. Now, with the Model 2, this logic could be turned upside down. For the first time, a smart, electric, autonomous car could be within reach of those who previously barely considered taking out a loan.